Hello to the world and to the kingdom citizens. I greet you in the precious holy name of Yeshua Messiah, Yeshua HaMashiach, who said in his word, John 8:32, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Hi, I'm Dr. John Curry, Ambassador, and welcome to the Kingdom of Heaven on Earth. If you want to follow this podcast, please subscribe to JC Global, Embassy TV 1, ring the bell, and hit the thumbs up button. Today's message is going to be entitled, Types of Intellectual Property. Types of intellectual property, such as patents, trademarks. We're going to be looking at trade dress, copyrights, and trade secrets. But for today, we're going to be primarily dealing with patents. We're going to be dealing with patent, intellectual property. In other words, how can you move forward with a patent, and what can you do to be able to get more out of your patent? I want you to know that what gives me credence to be able to talk about this is that as a former president of the United Minority Inventors Association of St. Louis in 1991 through 95, we believed back then, as so do I believe now in the present, that as Black inventors, I want you, those of you that are watching me right now, I want you to have a mindset that you can take your product from mind to market. But you got to know that there's going to be some work to be able to get that done, from mind to market. I believe that there are a lot of great Black inventors out there that just don't have a place to go, do not have anyone to talk to, nor do they know the strategies that they need to do in order to bring their products from mind to the market. The color of the skin is in no way connected with the strength of the mind or intellectual power. I want to read that again. The color of the skin is in no way connected with strength of the mind or intellectual power. This was said back in 1796 by a Black inventor whose name was Benjamin Banneker. Benjamin Banneker was an astronomer. He was a clockmaker who invented America's first fully functioning clock. We're going to also talk about the process of getting a patent and what you can do to get a patent. We're going to basically introduce you to a little bit of Elijah McCoy, one of the Black inventors that had more than 57 U.S. patents, and he was known for having the real McCoy. In other words, creating a lubrication machine, steam engine for the railroad. 57 patents in the United States. And we have hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds and even thousands of Black inventors that invented major inventions right after slavery, from 1865 all the way up to the present. And many of these Black inventors never received the payment that was due to them pertaining to the inventions that they created. But we're going to deal with today is the process of what happens when you get an invention. You know, when the light bulb comes on, what happens and what do you do then? Do you have a light bulb moment? Are you at the point now where you got a light bulb moment? And normally what happens is that when you get a light bulb moment, if you don't act on it right away, God may have already given that same light bulb moment to someone else. And you'll look up and you'll see your product on the market, or you see your idea on the market, and you'll say, wow, I wish I'd have moved on it quick enough. Well, what we're going to deal with today is how to identify your light bulb moment, and as well as how to patent your light bulb moment so you will not lose out on the benefits that is due to you. So when you have a light bulb moment, it simply means something coming to your mind, you need to write it down. We're going to talk about that process and what you need to do. Also, we want you to understand how important it is once you have that light bulb moment. You need to know how to protect your intellectual property, and that's what it's called, types of intellectual property. In patents office, they're known as IPs. So we want to get into the fact of how do I protect my intellectual property? Well, first of all, I'll just tell you, don't worry. Don't worry about it, because if you're worrying about your intellectual property, then you may not do the things that you need to do in order to protect it. So with intellectual property, that's property that comes out of your mind. Those are your thoughts and things that you create, okay? And when you create, the reason why you don't have to worry about your IP or intellectual property is because you can protect your competitive advantage and you can exclude others. You can protect your competitive advantage and exclude others. You can also, with IP or patents, you can attract capital, which means that there may be people that want to invest in your IP, your intellectual property. You also can enhance company valuation. So if you have a intellectual property, you can advance companies' evaluations. In other words, you can bring more capital to that particular company. You can use IP as a marketing edge. That's right, you can use IP as a marketing edge. So if you have a patent on a particular item and you work for a particular organization and that organization is not aware of your patent, then that patent belongs to you unless that organization has made it said that they want you to create something, then that organization can also own your patent. Okay, also, you don't have to worry about it, because once you get IP and you get your patent on it, then you can sell that patent or you can even license that patent. One thing that I would strongly say, I think it's better for an inventor maybe to license the patent if in fact he or she does not have the money that they need in order to be able to push the patent to market out of your own pocket. So a lot of inventors license their patent or either license it and get a proceed from it, or they just outright sell it and be done with it. So the question is, what is a patent? Well, you can see right behind me, I have a patent on my left and a patent on my right. I have 2 patents and I'm presently working on several more. And in order to get these patents, that means that you have to do something that's different from everybody else. Now, it took a lot of work to get these 2 patents that are behind me, get them done. I had to do a lot of research and I had to get involved in a lot of things. And these patents are basically ready for market. Right now, we're looking at China to be able to get China to do something with it, or even Africa. We want Africa to do something with it. So these 2 patents are intellectual property that God gave to me. And I began to pursue the patent. And I was granted the patents, and I'm so thankful that I was granted 2 patents. And like I said, I'm waiting on more to come. I have a lot of inventions and ideas that I have in a folder that I'm looking to be able to bring those inventions and ideas to market. So what is a patent? A patent is exclusive rights granted to an inventor or designee for a limited period of time in the exchange for detailed public disclosure of an invention. See, everyone can't get one because you have to put the work in. It's exclusive rights, which means no one can come and steal your idea. And if they try to, if you're working on an idea, we're going to talk about that, where you can put patent pending, which simply means you're working on the idea. But in order for someone to come and take your idea, that means you must have went over paying your patent fees at a reasonable time so it wouldn't be out there in the market. So it's exclusive. It's for you. It's your invention. No one else can have it. No one else can claim it, because if they do, you can file lawsuits and be able to get paid by them from trying to steal or stealing your invention. Inventions is patentable if. So your invention, that idea that you had in your head, your light bulb moment is patentable if it's new, it's patentable, which means that it's nowhere out there. If it's useful, it's patentable. Not obvious or pertaining to patentable subjects. So you don't have to worry about your invention if it's new, if it's useful, if it's not so obvious, if it pertains to patentable subject matter. You can get a patent. But just know, sometimes it can take anywhere from a year, 2, maybe 3 years before you actually receive documents stating that you have a patent on file. And sometimes that can go, like I said, from a year, maybe 2 years. So when we look at the types of patents, you have the utility patent. It's the process or machined articles or manufacturer, etc. And many times that can go up to 20 years. The term can go up to 20 years, which means you have to pay your patent fees, and then they give you more years and more time on it. You have your design patent, which simply means that you can patent a design. Or what I would like to say, it'll be better to trademark a design or copyright a design, because when you patent that design, then that term is up in 15 years. So you have to understand that the patent office is very detailed, is very structured. Because you submit for a patent does not necessarily mean you will be issued a patent. Now, here's some of the things that I think is important for you to understand doing a patent search. Because you had, remember I told you about the light bulb, and because you had a light bulb moment does not necessarily mean someone else has not had that light bulb moment. So before you begin to put money into securing a patent, you must be able to do a patent search. That simply means you just go, years ago, we could go to the library and go to the section where you can look up different things and find out if what's in your head is not already on the market. So you have to be able to do a patent search. And then once you do a patent search, then you get permission, and that's freedom to operate while you're pursuing your patent. So you have to make sure that you're not wasting money seeing an attorney. When you see that an attorney, in his head, he's going to go and do a patent search, and that could be anywhere from $100 to maybe $300, depending on how long that search is. And what happens in that process, you're spending money on something that really does not belong to you. Remember, I told you earlier that when you get the light bulb moment, just because you got it doesn't mean that someone else didn't get it in California. Doesn't mean that someone else didn't get it in New York or someone else didn't get it in Milwaukee. When you get a light bulb moment, you have to move on it. And once you begin to move on it, then you can be able to get a patent search done. And today, you can use anything from the library. I would try Google just a little bit, but I wouldn't trust it. I think one of the major things that you probably need to do is find you a patent attorney and get you a patent attorney that can do a real nice patent search and find out what's out there. Remember, because you thought of it doesn't mean someone else has not thought of it. And I know many of you have thought of great ideas and you didn't move on it, and you got mad at yourself because what you had thought about and the light bulb moment that came to you is now on the market, and you missed it because you didn't move on your idea. Well, what I want to do is help you out with that to get you to understand that you need to be able to think about getting a patent. And when you get a patent, then from there, you can move on some other things. But here's something else that I think is important for you to know pertaining to a patent and pertaining to how to process this patent. So if you find a patent attorney that is willing to spend some time with you, and maybe you can set up some time where you can find out exactly what do I need to do in order to secure my patent, and once you find that out, then I would say that you have to make sure that once you get a patent, or even in the process of getting a patent, and let's say you're sharing your idea with someone, you need to make sure that you have a disclosure statement. And a good attorney can help you create one. I created my own. But you need to have someone to help you understand that when you show your idea to someone, be it Kmart, Walmart, Target, or whomever you're showing it to, they need to be willing to sign your disclosure form. That's the first thing. Be it your copyright, or shall we say you haven't copyrighted it yet, you still need to have the circle with the C in the middle. If the patent is not concluded to the fact where you've already got it done, you need to have on there a patent pending on the product, so that when you're showing it to someone, they need to sign a disclosure form that you created pertaining to you showing them your idea. The other thing, create your own disclosure form. I would just love to tell you that. Just create your own disclosure form. And there are many different types of ideas you can get. You can get on the web. You can find out, even just by going to your local library, be able to find out what would be a good disclosure form. Number one, you need to identify your product. You need to have on there the date that a person is looking at it. You need to have a space where they can sign it and have another space where you can sign it. So if things go bad where your money is dry and you can't do what you want to do, at least you have a list of all the people that you've shown your patent to, or your copyright design to, or your idea to. And that way, if something go bad, you have a copy of everything that you've shown people with their signature on it, as far as viewing your patent pending idea or viewing your soon-to-be copyright idea. That way they have to sign off on it, which means that if they try to claim it as their own, you got them on paper saying that they viewed it at such and such date. The other thing that you need to do, that you need to know your date of origination. Now, this is very important because there have been many people that came up with great ideas. Remember I told you about the light bulb moment, okay? Let's say your light bulb went off on January the 10th and someone else's light bulb went off on March 13th. Well, if you don't have your date of origination, the person with the March 13th date can be able to get the patent over you because you didn't write down your date of origination. Your date was January 10th. This person's date was March 10th and of the same year. So date of origination is very critical. So the moment you get an idea and you flush it out and it becomes real to you, you need to write down date of origination that this idea came to me. The other thing that you need to know is that if you do a patent search, then you have to understand that in that patent search, or you have to make sure that you're specifying exactly what you are doing. You can't just go on a whim and say, well, I was thinking about this, but you didn't write it down. No, you have to make sure that everything flows like you want it to flow. So if not, you will need to do something different to cover yourself. And again, I always fall back on my disclosure form to make sure everybody sign off on it, the date that they saw it, and the time that they saw it, and I then sign it again myself. Okay? You may have a patent, but do you have a prototype? Now, this is critical. You may have a patent, but do you have a prototype? See, sometimes inventors, we come up with great ideas, especially Black inventors. We come up with great ideas, but then we have to find someone, or we have to find someone, or ourselves have to create our own prototype. Prototype is everything. When people can see what you invented and see how it works and see what it would take to manufacture it, that gives you credence as an inventor. Because when you get ready to file for a patent, your attorney is going to want to know, can you create this? Do you have a prototype of it? How does this work? Be it a utility patent, three-dimensional patent. How does it work? How can someone use it? It can't be so emotional where you can't explain yourself. You have to be able to tell people how stuff works. Well, see, with my patent, with my two patents, they're three-dimensional, and it's very detailed how they work. I mean, from creating robots to accelerometers to voice boxes and all of that stuff, many of them are in line with the patent that I've created. So you have to be able to take those things. So when you're writing it down and you want to put it in your patent, you have to put it in the patent where it works for the patent examiner. If it doesn't work for the patent examiner, the likelihood is that you get something back saying, really can't understand exactly what you're trying to get patent. So you have to take time out to be able to get those things done. And how you do that is that you connect with people that know how to do it. As for myself, if I'm dealing with technology, voice boxes and accelerometers and how to make things move and dealing with robotic things that are in line with the invention that I invented, then I have to show them how it works. And if I don't know personally how it works, I have to get with someone in high tech to be able to show me how it works. So when I put it in my patent, then I know how it works. And when the examiner review it, the examiner can see, okay, this person knows what they're doing. This is how this product works. So prototypes is everything. Okay. From there, you have to ask yourself the question, where do I want this to be marketed at? How do I market this, and to whom do I market? See, because you have an invention doesn't mean that everybody want it. You know, and because you create something doesn't mean that everybody's going to buy it. So you have to do market testing. I remember years ago, I would go to a mall and I would sit at the mall 3, 4, maybe 5 hours a day and just ask simple questions. I would create a market sheet and ask people a question. Is this something you would like? And after they answer their question, then I say, is this something that you know someone else would like? And then I would say, is this something that you could use? Is this something that you would buy for someone as a gift? So you have to do your market testing. And once you do your market testing, then when you get a marketing company, you've already done most of the work. So when you take the product to them, they already know that you have skin in the game. They know you're just not someone out here just trying to do something without putting the work in. So then you have to, once you know that there's a market for it, doing a market testing, then you need to make sure you can find a manufacturer, someone that can manufacture your product, someone that can get it done. Now we had, years ago, we had Kmart and Walmart and a few other major big stores that was working with us on product design. And we was planning on taking it over to China. And to this day, even to this day, right now, we're looking at China, if not Africa. I would love to get the product done over in Africa because I think Africa would benefit more from it. And I think the blacks in America and throughout Africa would benefit more from it. So you have to find yourself a manufacturer that's going to be able to make your product at a decent cost. You want to remember that. When I say cost, I mean, how much does it cost to make your product? How much does it cost? And from that cost, then you have to understand you got to ship it by freight over to the United States, unless you can find a great manufacturer that can make it in the United States. Initially, we wanted to get all of our products made in the United States, but we couldn't find a manufacturer in the United States will give us a decent cost. The cost in the United States to get it made, it was like triple or quadruple. You go over to China, you can get it made for not even a fourth of that. So people normally go to get product made where the cost is not as high. And that's the problem that the United States has right now. The cost, the manufacturing cost is just a little too high. So if you create a product, you want to think cost. How much does it cost to make it? And then from the cost, then how much is it going to cost for freight to come to the United States? And then from the United States, how much is it going to cost Walmart or Kmart or Target or whatever store want to purchase your item? And then they're going to have to get a percentage of what the product costs. So if the product is $7 that it costs to make, it gets to Walmart. Walmart wants $7 and you want $7. So 3 times 7 is 21. So your product may end up being $24.95. So everybody can get what they want out of the product. So manufacturing is very, very important to be able to nail down the cost. And not only cost for the product, then how about the packaging? Do you want it in a box? Do you want it in a plastic bag? Or do you want it just out? Or how do you want it? What packaging do you want for the product? So the product has to have packaging, which means you have to go to a graphic artist. You have to go to somebody that literally knows how to create a package for your product and be able to put the right things on it. You may even have to have a photo shoot for different types of things to be on the product and make sure you got to have costs for that. You have the cost for the graphic artist. You have to have costs for the photo shoot. You have to have costs for all of that. All of that is built in. And this is why getting investors is very important, because once you get investors and you understand what you're doing, they can help you curtail some of that cost. So you have to have a marketing agency, as I said before. Once you get those things together, then once you get your finances in order and you get all of those things together, then you are ready to be able to put your product to market. Now, it's important for you to know because I want you to dare to be creative. I don't want you to be to the point where you're saying, wow, I didn't know it took all of that. Yes, and then some. Okay, but you still have to want to be creative, dare to be creative, and you still have to have the desire to get your product from mind to market. It can be done. It will be done. As you can see, I have 2 patents behind me, okay, and I'm presently working on more. Why? Because I want to be able to get my products to market as I can help build those black inventors with great ideas that normally get stolen in many cases by white inventors. I had a white inventor that came to try to steal my products on numerous occasions. And that's why the patent keeps them a way off. It keeps them from coming in to take your product. So if you got an idea, write it down. You've had your light bulb moment, write it down. Once you write it down, then you got to know, how does it work? And when you get to the point of knowing how does it work and you think it would be a good idea, then you take it to a patent attorney. That patent attorney will walk you through the steps. And during that time, you may want to do a market testing or a market search to find out if this product is valuable for the public. If it's not valuable, you're spending money, you're wasting time. So I hope that encouraged you to know that I want you to dare to be creative. Because when you're creative, you can come up with a product that can help you in many ways and bring you to millionaire status overnight, just by the mere fact of you inventing product that no one has ever invented. So I want you to be encouraged by that. Inventors invent. Let me say it again. Inventors invent. Don't stop inventing. Find you someone that can offer you capital. Maybe a sponsor. Find you someone that believes in your idea. Research your idea. And know this, make sure that what you're inventing, your light bulb moment, make sure that you're not doing something that is already on the market. And if you follow these tips and you move in the right direction, you'll be able to get your product from mind to patent to market. And that's the goal. I trust that you understand it. And if you have any questions on this particular topic, I can be reached at jsconquerors@charter.net. That's my email address. I can be reached at jsconquerors@charter.net. I look forward to hearing from you. And remember, dare to be creative. From your mind, with your light bulb moment, from your mind to the market. God bless. Until next time.